Hi everyone, today we're going to be looking at surface area of prisms and pyramids. You can write 7b6 on the top of your next clean page and write, I can find the surface area of prisms and pyramids. Your notes will be pretty short today. Hopefully you did your homework yesterday, which involved drawing nets for the surface area worksheet, because if you did that, you are half done with today's homework. If you didn't, you're still going to have to do that. So let's take a look. In your notes, I want you to write these three steps. There's obviously five steps. First, we're going to draw the net. We're going to label our shapes, base, and height. Write the formula for each of the shapes. Find the area of each shape, and then add them all up. Those are your steps. If you need to pause the video to write them down, make sure you do. So, if you did yesterday's homework, you should have this one done already. So I'm going to draw my nets because I don't have mine done. I was not a good student. So this is made up of two ends that are both 5 by 4 and then 4 rectangles. So you should have, if you don't draw them to scale, if you just draw 6 rectangles that all look about the same size, that's fine, as long as you realize that this shape is made up of 6 rectangles. My first rectangles are both 5 centimeters by 4 centimeters. My top and bottom are both 8 centimeters by 5 centimeters. And my left and right are both 8 centimeters by 4 centimeters. Since these shapes are all rectangles, I will be using the same formula for all of them. The area equals base times height. So I'm going to write them all down. I have 5 by 4, and I have 2 of those. 5 by 4, each one will be 20 centimeters squared. I sometimes write it right in the middle. I'm going to see if I can go to my skinny pencil because I like my skinny pencil best. "20 centimeters squared." I sometimes write them in the middle. That way I know I did them all. These two are both 8 by 5, so I would write that down. I probably want to make sure I left room. 8 by 5 will give me the area, which equals 40 centimeters squared. So this one's 40 centimeters squared. And so is this one. My last two rectangles are both 8 by 4. Which is 32 centimeters squared. So I want you to make sure that you write all of your shapes, show your work, label them. You can write them inside like I do, or you can write them somewhere else. I think it's kind of a good habit to do this, because that way you know that each of the rectangles you drew, you have a number for. It's always good to say, okay, I have a rectangular prism, so I know I have 4, and then my 2 bases, so 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now add them up. 40 plus 40 is 80. Plus 20 is 100. Plus 20 is 120. I know that's not all of them, but I'm going to stop there for a second. 32 plus 32 is 64. Because sometimes it's hard to do all of it mental math in your head. So if you break into numbers you can work with and remember, makes it easier. So that would be 184 centimeters squared. And you might want to circle it or something so that you know that you're done and that's your final answer, so that you don't accidentally put in the wrong answer when you go to enter it. 184 centimeters squared. Let's jump down to number 3. Number 3 also has all rectangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rectangles. I'm just going to make 6 rectangles. Again, you don't have the benefit of having a tool on your worksheet. It lets you draw rectangles easier like I do. But notice mine aren't all the same size or even close. Doesn't matter. I don't really care about that. Let's write in our make sure I'm still in my skinny print, which I am. Okay. My bottom is 20 by 8. Make sure you put your labels. It's a rectangle, so I'll be doing 20 times 8. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget. I have 2 of those. That's the nice thing about rectangular prisms. You have 2 of every shape, and size, I should say. So another 20 by 8. Let's look at my right side next. That looks like it is 8 by 16. I'll have 2 of those, one on the left, one on the right. So I have done my bottom and my top, my left and my right, just need my front and my back. Okay, I have 20 here, but you'll notice they didn't label this number. Well, that number will be the same as this one. It will be 16. So I have 2 that are 20 by 16. And they're all in centimeters. I don't want to lose my units, but I'm not going to break them all down for now, but I'll write them down at the end. So 20 by, oh, that's not, it shouldn't be 20. Oops. 16 by 8. I meant to be writing, but I wrote 20 by 8 for some reason. Then I have 2 that are 16 by 20. Using my mental math, I know 16 times 2 is 32, so 16 by 20 will be 320. This one will also be 320. Again, we're talking centimeters squared. If you don't write them in this point, that would be okay, as long as you remember at the very end. 8 by 16. Oh, that one's tough. Well, 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 10 is 80. 80 and 48 is 128. You should practice your mental math all the time. It will serve you well to get good with your... That was almost not an 8. I messed myself up. 8 times 20, 8 times 2 is 16. Put a 0 at the end, 160. And I have 2 of those. Now you want to start adding them all up. Again, don't try to do it all together at the same time mentally. That gets hard. 160 plus 160 is 320. And use a calculator if you need to. I have no problem with you using a calculator. I just don't happen to have one handy. 320 and 320 is 640. Which brings me now to 960, but I'm not done. I still have my 128 plus 128, which is 256. For a grand total of 6. 1, carry my 1, 11, 12, 1,216. By the way, don't put a comma in there if you're entering it in backpacks. It'll probably mark it wrong. Maybe it won't. Sometimes it does, so best just not to put it. Centimeters squared. Again, I'd probably circle it or something so I know that's my final answer. Hope that's making sense. Let's look at a couple triangles. Here are 2 triangular prisms. This one has 2 triangles for bases. I'm going to use my tool because hand drawing these triangles is not fun using my mouse. So 1, 2, these are right triangles too. These ones look like isosceles over here. So 2 right triangles. Then I have 3 rectangles. I'm going to draw my 3 rectangles. Again, I don't care that they're not drawn to scale. Doesn't matter, as long as your numbers are right. Okay. Now you got to keep track of this part. This part's the tricky part. 3 by 4. See, my base here is 3. My height is 4. My hypotenuse there, that diagonal line, my longest side, is here. However, for area, I don't need that. I need my base and my height. Remember, here's my base, height. So, area of a triangle equals 1/2 base times height, or another way, base times height divided by 2. Area of these rectangles are all going to be base times height. Let's look at my rectangles. I have, we'll start at the bottom. The bottom is 4 by 8. Look at this side here, the one that's completely outlined. That is 8 by 5. And my last one, kind of in the back here, 3 by 8. So for my triangles, I have base times height divided by 2. So that is 3 times 4 divided by 2, which is 12 divided by 2, which is 6 inches squared. Again, use your calculator. I don't have a problem with that. 6 and 6. Okay. I just want you to be able to know what the formulas are, so write down what you are multiplying. That way, if you do something wrong, I can see what you did. If you just give me a number, I would have no idea where those numbers came from. And these are all base times height. I'm just writing them all down. 3 times 8, 4 times 8, 5 times 8. 4 times 8, 32. 5 times 8, 40. 3 times 8, 24. I can start adding them up. 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 plus 24 is 36. I'll stop there for now. Now I have 40 plus 32, 72. So hopefully if I didn't mess anything up, my total is 108. And we're dealing in inches for this problem, so inches squared. No, that's a 0, not a 6. Oh, head circling. Now that one, that's that one. This one, 2 triangles, 3 rectangles. This one, 2 triangles. This one's just similar to this one. They're right triangle bases, 3 rectangles. Both of these are actually all 3 of these are triangular prisms. This is also a triangular prism. That is all we're going to do for today. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Have a great day.